Now, just in case you were wondering, I'm Brett Siegel. I'll be here the rest of the week while the great Gary Franchi is overseas covering NATO. Fortunately, I am safe here in a bunker in northern Florida, where I am always free from your bigotry, racism, hatred, microaggressions, and your bunker busters. And President Trump's one big, beautiful bill is about to save the American dream. I love this thing. Family farms passed down for generations are being destroyed by the death tax. Working families crushed by inflation need relief. Our border remains a war zone. Not so much anymore, but it's arguable. This bill changes everything. Massive death tax exemptions for farmers like Kevin Kester, whose land values skyrocketed. 15% tax cuts for Americans earning $30,000 to $80,000. $46 billion for border wall construction. I really want to see this thing go up. Please, please, please let this thing go up. 10,000 new ICE officers. Yes, that's good stuff. Double detention capacity. Democrats call it a giveaway to the rich. Why? Because walls cost money. But when you see what this bill really is, you'll understand why they're terrified. This is Trump delivering on promises. This is the nightmare. This is the stuff that Democrat nightmares are made of, that Trump actually does a good job after all the crying, screaming, screeching, bloviating, impeachment attempts, all this. This is legacy on the line. Fathers who built farms with their bare hands, with calloused hands, over many generations, sons who inherited sweat and soil. The death tax, it's a grave robber. Watch Kevin Kester explain how Trump's bill saves generations of American agriculture. Take a look.
Raising taxes doesn't work for those raising cattle, but American farmers are optimistic the big, beautiful bill could be the answer to the economic relief they've been asking for. Douglas Kennedy spoke with some ranchers out west with this great story. Hey, Douglas.
Hey, Jackie. Yeah, for years, America has been losing family farms, especially those located near the super wealthy. So you've got the Hollywood people in the South, then you've got the Silicon Valley people in the North, and they're all coming here to buy this ranch land.
That's absolutely right. They're driving up the prices, and it doesn't even get used for agriculture.
For multiple generations, Kevin Kester's family has been raising cattle and farming land in San Luis Obispo, California, a county that saw property values increase close to 70% in the last 5 years. It's a jump Kevin fears will see his long tradition of family farming end with him. So a family ranch like this one simply can't absorb the tax bill that comes from increased land values.
That's right. Our tax system here in the U.S. makes it impossible or near impossible for a fifth-generation rancher like me to be able to pass on to the next generation, my kids or my grandkids.
Fifth-generation rancher. Let's paint a little picture here. 5 generations ago, you're a farmer, and you buy a few acres of land, and you sow it with your bare hands. You manage to find a wife, you have some kids, and you turn this farm into a gigantic enterprise that builds value, that feeds millions. And then you pass it on to your kids, and they build it even bigger. They grow it, and then they build it even bigger. And then they have kids, and they pass it on to their kids. Now, wash and repeat 5 times, and now you're a gargantuan force to be reckoned with in the farming business. Each and every generation sowing the land so that people can eat food and establish value and have value. And you give value, you get the money. You give the value, you get more money. Now you want to leave it to your kids, and some douche with a little clipboard comes in and tries to wet their beak with it to slash your farm and scavenge around your farm like a scavenger, like a scavenging scavenger. You want to leave it to your kids. Everything that you've built, it's theirs. It's their birthright. Yet some government bureaucrat says, nope, that's ours. Silicon Valley drives up the value. Hollywood inflates the prices. But farmers don't get to see that cash. They see cattle. Trump gets it. Senator Thune lays out the real big, beautiful bills agenda. This isn't pork. This is promise keeping. Every campaign pledge packed into one massive America First package. Take a look.
And this is the fulfillment and implementation, this bill, of the president's agenda. It's securing the border, it's modernizing our military, it's making America energy dominant, it's tax relief for working families, it's reducing the size and scale and cost of government by getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. This is what the American people voted for, and that's what we intend to deliver. So failure is not an option. There's a lot, as you would expect, a lot of swirl at this point in the legislative process, and so we're hearing people out, working, responding to their feedback and taking their input, trying to incorporate things into the bill that make it stronger and better. But we have to get this done, and I'm hopeful that we will succeed by the end of the week here in the Senate, and then we'll see what the House can do and if we can get it on the president's desk soon.
Listen, I've said this before. Listen, whether it's good or bad for America doesn't matter to them. If Trump wants it, they don't want it. If Trump cured cancer tomorrow, they would protest out on the street saying, "Give us back our cancer. We have the right to die from cancer. Curing cancer is racist." This thing has border security, military modernization, energy dominance, tax relief, government waste elimination. This is Trump's mandate manifest. Failure is not an option here. And all they can do is lie about it. Democrats lie about who benefits. Senator Merkley claims low-income Americans get nothing. I'm sorry. Like, if there's one thing that you can say about Trump is that you cannot say that he has not delivered for the low earners in America, for low-income earners. Watch him deceive national television while Trump delivers the biggest middle-class tax cut in decades. Take a look.
With a big benefit to low and middle-income people. I'm sure there's some folks out there saying, well, that's pretty enticing. If I'm low, middle income, what do you say to that?
Well, it's not true. At the end of the tax period, you will see the richest gain a lot of benefits, some $80,000 per person. And because of the increased costs of health care and other costs driven up by this bill, actually lower income folks come out behind, not ahead. So again, this is families lose, billionaires win.
Listen, Karl Marx said the same exact thing. Trotsky, all of the communists said that exact same thing right before they ushered in genocide. 15% tax cuts for workers earning 30 to 80,000. Those are teachers, cops, plumbers. These are real Americans. But Merkley calls it not true because lying is easier than losing. The border provisions are revolutionary. Secretary Noem details the transformation coming to our homeland security. This isn't talk. This is action with billions of dollars behind it. We really need to do this. Take a look.
Now, we do have a bill that's coming before Congress I hope everybody will support that will be a necessary resource for CBP. That bill doesn't just have dollars in it to build a wall, which it will. It'll have over $46 billion in it, not just to continue building infrastructure wall, but to give us the surveillance and technology that we need to truly secure the border and every border, not just our southern, but our northern, our maritime borders as well. It also will provide $4.1 billion so that we can hire 5,000 new CBP officers as well as 3,000 new CBP border agents. It also gives us $2.7 billion to CBP so that we can have the surveillance technologies that we need and another $1 billion for our vehicle fleet. It allows ICE to hire 10,000 new officers, which we cooperate every single day to secure our country. And it will also allow us to double our detention capabilities that may be necessary as we do our work. It also will address salary and bonuses, which I think is incredibly important. When you make sure that we take care of our people that work for us, we're taking care of their families. I don't know of anybody that can do their job with excellence if their family is in crisis at home.
$46 billion for the wall. Believe me, trust me, I want to see this thing go up. I want this to be taller and more fierce than the Great Wall of China, which was made with skulls of thousands of Chinese enemies. Maybe that's what we should do. Build the walls with the skulls of our enemies like they used to do. 5,000 new CBP officers, 3,000 Border Patrol agents, 10,000 ICE officers, double detention capacity, bonuses for our frontline heroes. This is serious. But Hakeem Jeffries keeps lying, claims Republicans have not lowered costs at all. Trump delivered the first drop in consumer prices in years. Watch Jeffries deny reality with like a big metal cap over his head. Take a look.
Donald Trump and House Republicans have not done a single thing to lower the high cost of living in the United States of America. Not a single thing. Instead, Republicans are trying to jam this one big, ugly bill down the throats of the American people. The GOP tax scam represents the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. It's an all-out assault on the health care of the American people.
Not a single thing, he says. Really? Not one single thing. Gas price dropped. Inflation cooled. Democrats need economic misery to win elections. They need it. And they'll even make it up when it's not even there. They'll deny that they're the ones who caused it if it is there. But if it's not there, if things are actually getting better, they'll just literally just pull the wool over their faces and just say, oh, la, 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 la. Success threatens their power. If Trump actually pulls this off, if he pulls this through, this is going to be a good thing. It's going to be a little bit hard to argue with. And they are scared out of their minds. They are shaking in their boots right now. They do not want Trump to win. They do not want Trump to make peace in the Middle East. Everyone said it's become such a euphemism. Peace in the Middle East, yo. They don't actually want it. They don't actually want Trump to be successful. Energy Secretary Wright exposes the Green New Scam. We shipped manufacturing to China. They burn coal. We buy it back, and then we call it green. That's peak stupidity. Take a look.
So the bill just goes back to sort of common sense on permitting of this. Of course, we're going to do environmental reviews and safety reviews. It's just going back to the original intention of permitting. Very critical for the bill. It's going to, again, get rid of these subsidies and distortions that have hurt not just our electricity market, but our broader energy markets. One of the greatest upsides for the United States is to bring industry back to our country. In a green delusion, we decided to make it so hard to build things in the United States that instead what happens? We still consume those same products, just now they're built in Asia with a coal-powered electricity instead of natural gas in the United States, and then they're Asian workers, and then we load them on diesel-powered ships and ship it across the ocean and bring them back to the United States and call that green or a climate policy. There's just so much nonsense. The one big beautiful bill, actually, it is big. There are a lot of things in it, but a lot of them are just cleaning out underbrush and nonsense. So it's easier to build things in our country again, remove the distortions from the energy markets, unleash American businesses to build energy production of all different kinds, but kinds that work without subsidy.
Common sense permitting, ending subsidies for failure. Like the Iran deal when they send a bunch of cash. Listen, what people do is you subsidize things that you want more of. That's a general rule. And what do liberals want? They want subsidies for things that are terrible. Killing babies, Iranian nukes, literally anything you can think of, dependence on the government. Anything that you can think of that a liberal would want to subsidize, just reject it wholesale already, because you know that it's based on their worldview. We want to build in America with American energy, not Chinese coal. Subsidize American energy. Subsidize American businesses, at least. I'm not even a fan of subsidies in general. I mean, I think it's sort of like, putting your finger on the scale. But if we are going to subsidize something, let's do it here. Not Chinese coal, not diesel shipping, American natural gas, American workers, American success. Dan Sullivan reveals the missile defense funding, $25 billion for the Golden Dome. What an amazing triumph that would be if we had a system like Israel's Iron Dome, which is only meant to protect a country the size of New Jersey, except over the entire country. Wouldn't that be an absolute amazing achievement? Trump's vision from his first term finally funded. I mean, it's amazing. I love the fact that he calls it the Golden Dome. Most presidents just propose things. This president actually delivers things. Take a look at this next clip.
Now, I just want to do a shout out to President Trump. For years, going back to his first term, he has been focused on missile defense. And a lot of what we're building on here comes from the president. Senator Kramer and I were in the Oval Office a couple of weeks ago with the president, our friends in the press, when we were launching the president's Golden Dome initiative in the Oval Office, had asked the president, hey, which general told you to do this? And the actual answer was, this has been a presidential vision for 8 years. From President Trump himself. There's no general. He's telling the generals to do it, not vice versa. Congress is stepping up, as I mentioned, $25 billion in the budget reconciliation bill for Golden Dome, which is why we need to pass that bill, hopefully here in the Senate this week, and is again, to cement all of this for the long term, we need to pass the Golden Dome Act into law.
Look, if Israel's Iron Dome is a wooden shack in the woods, the Golden Dome is a skyscraper. And we know who is very, very good at building skyscrapers. And like I said, he's not building skyscrapers. He is. But the real task is dealing with this insane ballet of moving parts that makes something like a wooden shack in the woods scalable to a bazillion skyscrapers all around the world. That's what our president is good at. And when he gives us a promise like that, when he says that he could do something like that, I believe him. Because what are we really talking about here? We're talking about protecting our citizens. We're talking about protecting our children. Me personally, I want to live in a country where there's a Golden Dome. Trump pushed missile defense for 8 years. Generals didn't tell him. He told them. And now Congress funds it. That's leadership. That's vision. That's victory. The bill is the promise made, promise kept, the big, beautiful bill. Every farmer saved from tax execution. Every family will be getting real relief. Every border agent will get reinforcements. Every American will get protection. Democrats hate it because it works. And sadly, they hate it because it's good. We spoke about this yesterday. They don't hate Trump because he's bad. They hate him because he's good. Islamists hate the West not because we're bad, but because we're good. Not because we don't like life, but because we do like life. And if you got value from this report, please tap subscribe. My final thought is coming up next. This bill is your vindication. Every vote you cast, every rally you attended, every time they called you deplorable for wanting to keep your family farm, secure your border, or keep your paycheck, to not have your life savings pillaged by taxes, subsidies. This is your answer. The death tax that destroyed generations of American dreams is going to be crippled. The border chaos that endangered your communities, $46 billion to end it. The tax burden crushing working families, slashed by 15%. The green energy scam shipping jobs off to China, not going to happen. This isn't just legislation, this is restoration. Democrats scream because their entire platform depends on American failure and American citizens being completely dependent on the government. They want us high, they want us dumb, they want us trans, they want us childless, they want us familyless. Open borders, high taxes, energy dependence, family destruction. Trump's bill reverses it in one big, beautiful swing, one big, beautiful bat to the head. Now, my question, is saving family farms from the death tax worth whatever Democrats claim that it costs? Yes or no? Tell me below and celebrate this victory with Next News gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.